Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I want to do another semiconductor update. We're going to take a quick look at three stocks: Nvidia, AMD, and Intel. Yesterday there were some pretty cool news that came out about a supercomputer for Nvidia AMD. So I just want to share my overall thoughts. I'm also going to take a quick look at the prices all three semiconductor companies are at and just share, hey, is this a time I would personally be buying, selling, or what am I doing right now? If this is your first time here, guys, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and let's get started. Like I mentioned, today we are going to take a quick look at Nvidia. This stock right now, as I am recording, is down about 0.48% on today. But we can see in the past 5 days, this company has been a monster, up 10.51% in the past 5 days. In the past month, it's up 14.57. We saw, right, I've done plenty of episodes on Nvidia. Very strong earnings, very strong support from analysts, and just overall a bullish case for Nvidia. Number one position in my portfolio. If we take a look at AMD, as I am recording this episode, the stock is down about 0.39%, so very similar levels to Nvidia. If we take a look in the past 5 days, it's also been pretty green, up 3.48. In the past month, it's up 17.49. So all these companies, right, again, very bullish case for AMD. They also had a very strong earnings, gaining in data center market share from some of its competitors. So overall, very bullish case for those two giants. Now, if we take a quick look at, I wouldn't say this is a fan favorite right now, but we're going to take a quick look at Intel. This one's down a little bit more than the other two, right now down to 1.3%. We can see in the past 5 days, this is actually green. I'm actually impressed. It's up almost 2% in the past 5 days, and in the past month, it's actually down 2.2%. So I guess investors weren't that excited about Intel's earnings, and I do believe I've covered their earnings in previous videos, so make sure to check out that previous catalog. So the topic I want to take a look at today is there were reports on August 24th that there was a deal coming in for Nvidia and AMD about a supercomputer. This kind of deal was made because a previous deal that this US Department of Energy, one of their labs, had a previous deal with Intel corporations on building a supercomputer. Unfortunately, Intel has had kind of a slowdown with a lot of their production. Some of their chips are taking a lot longer to produce than expected. So it has caused a delay in kind of creating that original deal. So this lab within this US Department of Energy is kind of, hey, we're still going with Intel, but in the meantime, we want something within the next few months. So we're going to go with a supercomputer powered by AMD and Nvidia. So that's where we're at right now. That report came out in August 24th, so about 2 days ago. So that's what we're going to take a quick look at today. But guys, let's take a quick listen to today's sponsor, a great reason why I'm able to provide so much content to you guys for free. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the stock advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. Yesterday on August 25th, Nvidia kind of confirmed this deal that yes, they are kind of making this new laboratory supercomputer. The supercomputer is going to be called Polaris, and it's going to be for Argonne's National Laboratory. So now let me just take a quick look at supercomputers. So supercomputers are pretty much what their names are, computers that can kind of do mathematics, equations and stuff, that can kind of process data a lot faster than regular computers. At the same time, these supercomputers are super expensive. For example, that original Intel deal, which I think was announced in 2019, which was announced in 2019, that was a deal of about $500 million for that supercomputer. So you can see supercomputers have a pretty penny on themselves. But unfortunately, because of the delay, now the lab is also gonna create a second supercomputer. This one is gonna call Polaris, and it's gonna be powered by Nvidia's A100 GPUs, which are their high performance enterprise data center GPUs, and it's gonna be powered by AMD's Rome and Milan chips. These are their data center GPUs. So I mean, it just shows that hey, The market, even though, right, Intel used to be a huge leader and still a huge leader in the CPU data center when we take a look at market shares, if you're not able to provide the product when needed, some of these customers are going to go elsewhere. They're going to go to who they believe can provide something now and with similar type of results. I do want to say though, within people kind of familiar, and due to this report, people familiar within the inside of the supercomputers, they do mention that this Nvidia and AMD supercomputer is not going to be as fast as the one from Intel, and they're kind of just using it as a more of like a stepping stone to get everything set up. So once they have this supercomputer from Intel, they will be able to kind of just go roll with it once it comes out. And another thing, just to show you, right? I mean, I do say this is a supercomputer by like AMD and Intel, but it's not them who create the supercomputer, right? They are just the ones that power the main systems. There is another company that goes and creates and finalizes this whole supercomputer process. For here is going to be Hewlett Packard Enterprise, HPE. They are the ones who are expected to build the supercomputer, and they deal with everything else from memories to solid state drives to whatever goes in these supercomputers. So that's just, I want to say, the first cool news. And obviously, I mean, it just shows the overall power that, hey, you're not providing something right now, if you're kind of having a slowdown in forms of producing new chips and kind of innovating, the market is going to go and look for those companies that are doing what is needed. And we can see Nvidia and AMD. So I do want to say, even though maybe monetary value, it might not be such a huge win for AMD and Nvidia, it's more of just a market awareness that, hey, AMD and Nvidia are really here right now to produce these supercomputers if needed, opposed to waiting many years for Intel to get things straight. So I do believe this is one of the reasons the stock prices has been doing pretty well for Nvidia and AMD. At the same time, I don't want to make it seem like I'm an Intel bear, right? Intel still has plenty of cash flow from operations. They still have plenty of time to change things around. So we can see in the past 6 months, this stock is down 12.63%, and from its past 6 months high, it's actually down about 22.2%. So even though Intel has definitely been behaving in more of like a negative bearish sentiment, I don't want to say I would put Intel out of the race right now. Personally, I'm not invested in Intel. I'm invested in the other two because I do enjoy where they're at right now and how they're proceeding to grow. So now let me also take a quick look at some other news from Nvidia. So that was the first thing, the supercomputer, but there are some other cool news about Nvidia. I do want to say on August 24th, they also announced global availability of their Nvidia AI Enterprise, which makes AI accessible for every industry. This is pretty much a comprehensive software suite of AI tools. So we can see Nvidia is really transforming itself as not only a hardware company, but also a software company in this kind of revolutionary technology of artificial intelligence, and now is kind of is out globally, which again, it continues to show where, hey, maybe at the moment this might not be a huge monetary change for Nvidia's final numbers, but it is going to help out to show that, hey, this company is evolving to more than just a hardware company and it's ready to provide other types of services with higher margins. All right, so the final thing I want to take a quick look at is price targets. Not price targets, but where the companies are at right now. So AMD, I do want to say, already in my portfolio, long-term investments. I have no intentions of selling AMD and Nvidia right now. But I do want to say AMD right now is a bit overextended from its moving averages. That doesn't tell me, hey, Jose sells. It just tells me, Jose, if I want to enter into AMD right now, maybe open up with a small position. Now that it's overextended, I would only enter with a small position or dollar cost average over time. When the company kind of pulls back, if it ever goes back to like the low 80s, the mid 80s, that's when I personally would believe it's a better time to kind of build in a better base position. Same thing with Nvidia, right? Nvidia right now, a bit overextended. It doesn't mean I'm gonna sell. It just tells me, Jose, right now is not the time for me to add on a big position. At the same time, I don't mind getting some skin in the game. So this is a time where I wouldn't mind dollar cost averaging, opening up with a small position, but I do believe there are better opportunities in the future. The possibility, right? This is the great thing about volatility. Volatility can give us better buying opportunities in the future. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. So that's why I do believe it's either sometimes smart to even just do dollar cost averaging over time or just opening with a small position and add on over time. But we can see for Nvidia, I do want to say if it ever goes into the mid 150s, and that's pretty low, right? Compared to where it's at right now. But if it ever goes in the mid 100s, in the low 150s, mid 150s, that's when I think it would be a nice time to kind of build in base. Now, if we take a quick look at Intel is the only one opposed to these that isn't really seeing overextended. It's really sitting next to its moving averages at the same time, right? This is not growing as fast as these other two players. But like I mentioned, I don't believe it's game over for Intel. Not a position I want to enter into right now, just because AMD and Nvidia already make up over almost 20% of my portfolio. I think it's closer to like 18% on just those two companies, and I don't want to be too heavily in the semiconductor at the same time. But if I was bullish at Intel, right now would be the levels that, hey, I wouldn't mind entering with a nice base level in the position. At the same time, with the way things are going, this is something that will be a multiple year for this company to change around, especially in the overall production of chips and everything else kind of affecting it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good night, and see you next time.